everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a full series review. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the whole 6 seasons of, if I can lift them up, the whole 6 seasons of Gossip Girl, which you guys know is like one of my favourite shows ever. So I do want to discuss it, talk about my favourite season, talk about my favourite characters, talk about my favourite scenes out of the whole of the seasons, and just kind of discuss it a bit. Now, there will be minor spoilers, but overall I'm not really going to spoil much about it because I definitely don't want to do that for you if you haven't seen every episode or every season. So don't worry too much, there's not really going to be any major spoilers, but there might be some, little minor things. But yes, so basically the reason that I'm doing this is, well, one, I thought it'd be fun to talk about a whole season rather than just like my first impressions or just one particular season. But I started watching the show last year in 2013, and I actually have a first impressions video of it, which if you don't know is like when I watch a couple of episodes of a show I've never watched before, me giving my first thoughts. I pretty much really liked it right away, and then once I'd watched season 1 I was hooked. I watched the whole rest of them pretty soon after. Now I finished watching it, the 6th season, in about January this year because I got season 6 for Christmas last year, 2013 Christmas, so I finished it in about, just kind of January time, early January, so that's when I finished watching the show. But, so I'd watched them all and I really loved it. Like, I was completely in love with it. It was one of my favourite shows once I watched it all. I loved the characters so much and I just loved it. I thought it was so good. It was never something that I thought I was going to really enjoy that much because the premise is a little bit, it sounds a little bit odd if you haven't seen it. It just doesn't sound like something I would personally have enjoyed. So I was a bit like, meh, but no, I loved it. But then in May, I went to New York, which I've told you probably too many times. But yes, I went to New York in May. And then kind of on a fluke, basically went to the travel agents and they were, saying up the hotels. And the first one that he actually mentioned was the Empire Hotel. And if you've seen Gossip Girl, in the show in Gossip Girl, Chuck Bass, who's one of the main characters, he owns this hotel called the Empire, and that's his hotel, so a lot of it's shot in the Empire Hotel. And really luckily and really excitingly, I stayed at the Empire when I was in New York, and it was so exciting and so good. And this is my little key card. They were like, "Oh, do you want to keep that?" I was like, "Yes, please." So yeah, I've got this, and it's so, I just love it. Like, it's like a little souvenir thing, which I love. Anyway, so I stayed there, and a lot of it, like I say, Gossip Girl, a lot of it shot there, and kind of, some of the surrounding places to it. So that was really cool to see it. So when I got back, what do you think I did? I watched them all again. So yeah, now I've watched the whole thing twice. Yeah, so I've watched it all again, and the second time it definitely meant more to me because I'd been to the city and I'd seen the places that are in the show, and I knew a bit more about it. Than, well, not about it, but more about its surroundings and its place where it's come from than I did before, because I've never been to America before, so that was really exciting. So I enjoyed it more the second time. Plus, I don't know, I just loved it. Yeah, so basically, I love the show, and I've watched it twice, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, I would say, see, the problem is, I find this really hard. I would probably say season 4 is definitely one of my favourites, but then I also really like, I think season 2 is another one of my favourites. It's really hard to pick. I think I'd have to watch it quite a lot more times to really pick a favourite season. But then I also really do like season 6, but season 6 is considerably, considerably shorter. It's only, how many seasons? Whereas the other ones are quite lengthy. This one has only, I will look, it has 10 episodes. So I was so sad when I got season 6 to find out it was only 10 episodes, whereas the other ones are about, I don't know, 20 something episodes, I guess. Take out these discs. I like these discs, they're pretty. The other ones, yeah, 24 episodes, so season 6 is about half the length. So I was like, oh no. But yeah, each episode is like just short of an hour, so yeah. But yeah, so season 6 I do really like, but it is shorter, so I'm always like, oh, but I like how it ends. That's very nice. Now, as for characters, My favourite female character is Blair. I love her, I just do. When I first started watching the show I was a bit like not really sure on her, because basically the show starts when they're in high school, and then it kind of progresses on through. They go to like colleges and stuff, and then they also, you know, go on to work and things like that, so it kind of progresses throughout quite a nice little span of time. So, but yeah, it starts out when they're in high school, and I was a bit like, I didn't really draw to Blair straight away, but then definitely as the season went on I loved her, and then when I watched it again I just knew that she's my favourite female character. My favourite male character is definitely Chuck Bass. I love him. My favourite couple is obviously Chuck and Blair, because Chuck and Blair are my favourites and I love that couple. Gossip Girl is based on a book. It was a book series before, but I believe, I haven't read the book series, I believe that Chuck and Blair as a couple aren't really a couple in the book. So that kind of makes me a bit dubious of reading the books, but I might pick them up at one point because I just really love I could imagine the characters now because I've seen them in the show. But anyway, yeah, so they're definitely my two favourite characters. But then when I watched this through the second time, I definitely warmed a lot more towards Dan Humphrey. I just loved him. He's just sweet. He does some really stupid things that you just like, they all do. To be fair, not one of them has done something that actually is probably like an unforgivable thing that you wouldn't normally forgive somebody for. It's kind of really over dramatic show, which is why I thought I wouldn't really like it, but I just love it. When an episode ends, sometimes it ends on like cliffhangers and I'm just like, I need to know what else is going to happen. And there's so many twists and turns throughout the show that I was just like, what? It was so much fun. It's just a fun show. It's just, I don't know, it's a little bit crazy, it's a little bit just over the top, but it's just so fun. It's just like, I don't know, I get sucked in. I guess it's like how some people get sucked into reality shows and I get sucked into drama and Gossip Girl. But yeah, it is quite dramatic, and each character does do things that you're like, well, yeah, okay. But yeah, so Dan does have his moments where you're just like, what? But anyway, I did really like him. When I watched it the second time, I kind of really had a soft spot for him. As for Serena, I really do love her, but I just prefer Blair a little bit more. But I think, I don't know, I liked her best in seasons 5 and 6, when I feel like she'd grown up a bit more and she kind of learnt from her mistakes and kind of looked back at how they'd affected her. As kind of, you know, she had a lot of, I felt really bad for her actually in season 5. There was a lot of things that she had a lot of problems, and but I liked how, because of this, you kind of saw a different side of her, which I really liked. But yeah, so they're definitely my favourite characters. As for Nate, I do really like him and he's really sweet, but he's just the one that I've never really been super duper duper connected with. I always really liked Vanessa though, but she's not in the whole 6 seasons, which, you know, is like a minor little spoiler, she's not in the whole show. But like she's still mentioned in the season she's not in, but anyway, she's just not present in all of them. But yeah, I really liked her character, but then when it gets towards the end and I watch the end, I kind of forget that she's not something that's completely missing for me, but I did really like her character. Now I want to talk about my favourite scenes. I have 2 favourite scenes that I love. My favourite scene, I feel like this has more to do with the fact that I had been there, but it was definitely, I went back and watched the scene over and over and over, and it's from season 4, episode 8. I don't know that off by heart, I looked it up which episode it was before doing this video, so don't think I'm a crazy egg. But again, I looked up the episode, but I might be slightly off. It's called Jeanette Doesn't Live Here. Juliet. What's her name? Juliet? Jeanette? I forgot her name. Juliet. I'm sure it's Juliet. It's called Juliet Doesn't Live Here Anymore, who is a character in the season 4. And it's, I'm pretty sure it's episode 8, and basically what happens is Dan gets all dressed up really smart, and they're going to this event at the Lincoln Center. Now the Lincoln Center is in New York, and it is like I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think they have ballet on there, and it's like you can go and, I think people actually, I don't exactly know. I would tell you what I think it is, but then I might be wrong. So anyway, but the Lincoln Center is a really beautiful building, and literally here's the Empire Hotel here. From the Empire Hotel, when you stand outside the front, you can see the Lincoln Center over there, and in front of the Lincoln Center it has this really beautiful fountain, and it's a really nice fountain, and basically they're going to a really posh event at the Lincoln Center, or like to watch, I don't know what they're doing, but they're going to the Lincoln Centre, and Dan dresses up really smart, you know, because it's a really smart formal thing, which most of the events in Gossip Girl are. I love the clothes they wear in Gossip Girl. I'm always so jealous of their outfits, and I'm like, anyway, so Dan's wearing this really nice suit, and Serena is stood by the fountain, which is a beautiful fountain outside the Lincoln Centre, in this really nice dress. It's like grey and it's short here and then long. I'll try and put a picture, and it's really, really nice. And the song on is by the Drums, and it's called Down by the Water, which I'll link down below because I love the song. And basically Dan arrives and he's looking at her stood by the fountain, and it's a really, really nice kind of long moment, and he's not sure if he still loves her and what's going on really, because they're not together at the time. And he's looking at her, but then this man turns up who has been kind of seen Serena, and he turns up, but he wasn't going to come, so she was going with Dan instead, and he turns up, and Dan stood like, you know, from afar looking at the fountain, and he comes in, and obviously, like, you know, Dan's like crushed, and it's just sad, but it's a really, really beautiful scene. So yeah, that's from season 4, episode 8, and then my second other favourite scene is actually also from season 4, so yeah, and it's actually on the front here, you can see it. It's this one here, and it's with Chuck and Blair in France, and it's in the second episode, and basically Blair is wearing the most amazing dress. It's like my favourite dress in the whole thing. It's this red dress. I mean, I feel like I've mentioned the clothes really much in the thing, but yeah, her dress is amazing, and they are at the, I presume, the main train station in France. I've never been to France, so I'm not exactly sure what train station this would be, or if there's a main one, or maybe it's the one in Paris or something. I'm not sure, but it's a really beautiful train station, and the shot's really nice, and you can see the train station, like, and then they're stood kind of here, and then Chuck and Blair are talking about how, again, this is a minor spoiler, they are having indifferences in life, and how she wants to move on and stuff, but I'm not really going to tell you the whole thing of what happens. It's not really cute happens, but I don't really want to give it away, but it's a really, really beautiful scene. Like, it's laid out really nice, everything that's said is really nice. It's definitely one of my favourites. So yeah, those are my 2 favourite scenes, which I love personally. But yeah, you can tell me your favourite scene if you've seen Gossip Girl. But yeah, overall I highly recommend the show. I love it. It's one of my favourites. I think it's really great. I kind of think it's like a younger Sex and the City. I've seen the whole of Sex and the City, but I watched it when I was younger, and I watched it before I watched Gossip Girl, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but not really, because well, yeah, there's elements that are similar, basically, and so I feel like, I don't know, maybe I watched them the wrong way round. Maybe I should have watched Gossip Girl when I was younger and Sex and the City when I was older, but either way, I watched Sex and the City first, and then I've watched Gossip Girl in my 20s, so yeah, who knows, but I still love it, and I'm going to start watching it again. I'm going to start from season 1, I'm going to go ahead to season 6 again, because I just love it so much. It's one that I can watch over and over, but I can't watch it out of order, if that makes sense. Like, you'd have to watch it in order. It's not like with Friends, I can watch that every day, but I just watch it out of order because I know it, like, so much now. But yeah, I'd have to always watch it in order. I would say it's my favourite show. I think it's my second favourite. I think my first favourite is Friends, and my second favourite is Gossip Girl. I think it's my second favourite because Friends is just the best. But yeah, so Gossip Girl is my second favourite TV show, and I highly recommend you check it out and watch all the seasons. Definitely give it a go, more than just one episode. Give it a couple of episodes, give it a good go, and then let me know if you enjoy it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you enjoy Gossip Girl. I hope this full series review was okay. I know it's kind of random, just me talking about the characters and the my scenes and stuff. But yeah, overall, I'm sure that you probably can gather what the show's about. It has a lot of romance and drama and New York socialiteness in it, but it's a lot better than it sounds. That's why I didn't really give a synopsis. So yeah, until then guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this full series review. Maybe I'll do a full series review on another show. Comment below if you've seen it or if you think you might watch it. And keep smiling peeps. I'll see you then. Goodbye!